Good morning, everyone. Let us all welcome the co-founder and president of Thames International, Mr. Joel Santos.
Magandang umaga po, mga taga DepEd NCR. This is Joel Santos po, presidente po ng Thames International. Masaya po kami na nandito kayo at sinasamahan nyo ngayong kaming Sabado kasi patuloy po ang ating Heroes Program. Si-share ko lang po ang aking screen. Tsaka sa mga nasa FB Live po, magandang umaga rin po. Thank you. At sama-sama tayo ngayon sa ating pag-aaral, di ba? Sa online learning. So, si-share ko lang po uli ang ating programa. Ang pangalan po ay Heroes. Yan, ito po. Ito po ang ating Heroes program. Heroes 2021 stands for Help Educators Rise to Online Education for School Year 2021. Ito po ay isang project po ng Thames International in partnership with the National Capital Region DepEd Division. So, ito po, may kasama po tayong learning partners sa EduRescue at AKADASIA. Ang objective po natin is to really move forward to a new normal, the new normal in education with a clear purpose na handang-handa po tayo. At ito po ang really ang programa natin. Ngayon, this is a rapid training program po in 2 stages to ensure that 100% of DepEd NCR teachers are ready for online learning. Pagsimula po ng ating school year ngayong taon ito. So, ito po, 2 stages na we hope to finish within the before the start of the school year. So, a little bit lang po sa amin bilang the project proponent, ang Thames International Business School po, kami po yung naunang international college sa Pilipinas. We started po in 1999. At that time po, we were the first international college kasi po ang mga degree namin galing UK, Singapore, at Australia. Pero ngayon po, accredited na kami ng Commission of Higher Education at saka ng Department of Education. Noong 2018 po, nagsimula na ang digital transformation ng Thames. Nagsimula na po kami magturo sa blended learning, kino-combine po namin ng online at face-to-face. Dahil po dito, nung nagkaroon po tayo ng lockdown sa Metro Manila, successful po ang migration ng Thames International sa 100% online learning. Actually po, naging online school kami, totally 100%. So ito po yung campus namin, pero nung nag-lockdown po, online registration na po kami, online payment, tsaka online learning. So yung buong eskwelahan po na-transform sa online and virtual. Dahil po dito, naisipan namin na i-share ang aming knowledge. So inimbita po namin ang aming mga learning partners, isa po dyan si EduRescue, isa rin po siyang School for Teachers na nasimulan po yan dahil sa pandemic. Ang focus po niya ay yung mga emergency training na kailangan ng teachers para maging online lecturer. Ang other partner po natin, yung AKADASIA, Singapore company po sila na nasa EdTech. And sila po yung trainer ng Thames for the past 2 years. So 2 years na po nagka-training ang Thames International, ang mga lecturers namin. At AKADASIA po ang trainer namin from Singapore. So our lecturers po from Thames are all Singapore trained. So ang kwento ko lang po, nung nag-lockdown nga po, March 16, nag-open po ang Thames International na virtual school, 100%. Ito po yung mga klase namin habang kinoconduct. Ito po ang aming learning management system. Free po siya, galing po siya sa Singapore. Ito po yung iba naming classes. Nakikita niyo po na hindi lang siya basta live video, may mga presentations din po siya. So ang isa pong testimonial sa estudyante namin, they said, Thames did a good job of humanizing technology. Yan po ang gusto kong ipaalam na ang online learning po, hindi lang puro tech yan. Ang online learning po, basically, nililipat natin ang galing natin at eksperto natin sa pagtuturo na face-to-face o physical into an online environment. At dyan po ang expertise namin sa school is how we humanize technology and how we transferred the classroom environment to a virtual environment. So yan po yung testimonial ng aming estudyante. Ito naman po yung testimonial ng aming lecturer after 1 term. Sabi niya, it's a good day, happy naman siya sa class attendance, naka-quiz pa nga siya online, tapos nagulat siya sa responses. So both lecturers and students were able to go to online learning successfully kasi po prepared. Hindi ko po sasabihin na super kaming expert. Ang lamang po lang namin medyo may 2 taon na po kaming experience. At yan po ang gusto namin i-share. So after 2 years of blended learning and 1 full term 100%, we really want to share our learnings to help other schools. And that's why po may partnership tayo with DepEd NCR. Ang aming pong objective is no school or student will be left behind. Hindi po dahil may crisis, yung mga lalong pang lalaki ang digital divide. Hindi po yan. So nandito po kami, ang Thames, EduRescue, at AKADASIA para tumulong sa ating mga DepEd teachers na makamigrate sa online learning. Alam po natin sa DepEd, marami po tayong options, di ba? Sa ating delivery ng flexible learning, meron po tayong modules na printed, meron tayong TV. Ito naman po yung training nyo sa online learning. So, ang konsepto po natin, ang mga estudyante natin ay now, tawag po natin sa mga estudyante natin, Gen Z. Gen Z po sila kasi pinanganak sila na nakadikit na yung cellphone sa kanilang umbilical cord. At tawag po sa digital natives. No? So, technology is really something that they were born with. Ang ating pedagogy po ngayon ay magiging flip classroom, which means dapat po mag-prepare ang estudyante bago pumasok sa online classroom. At lahat po kayo ititrain natin maging e-facilitators para ma-achieve natin yung flexible and online learning so that no matter what crisis you're in, hindi po ito ang una na ang huli nating pandemic. Meron pong darating, unfortunately, sa Metro Manila po, inihintay pa natin ang the big one, di ba? Kaya tayo mga may earthquake drills. So, we will have crisis left and right, pero if we are able to develop our flexible and online learning capability po, hindi matutuloy at hindi madidisrupt ang ating pag-deliver ng edukasyon sa ating mga estudyante. So ito pong program, sinabi ko nga po, ng Heroes 2021 is Stage 1 tsaka Stage 2. Yung Stage 1 po is the Flexible Learning Toolkit. Magkakaroon po kayo ng Philippine Certificate. Ang Stage 2 naman po ay Create Your Online Course galing Singapore. Magkakaroon po kayo ng Singapore Certificate. So unique po to. Hindi po to webinar. Etong webinar na binibigay natin ngayon ay suporta lang po yan. But the whole course is actually online. So may experience nyo po how it is to be an online student. Di ba nga, para maging teacher na magaling, kailangan po natin ma-feel kung anong buhay ng isang estudyante. So during this course, you will go through the whole online student experience na meron po tayong synchronous na self-paced on your own po, online. Tapos ito naman pong binibigay namin sa inyo, ang ating webinar is ang synchronous, which is the live session. So online learning po, to be effective, has to be both asynchronous na self-paced, tsaka live session tulad nito na synchronous. So ito po ang i-undergo nyo during this next 2 to 3 weeks to finish Stage 1 and Stage 2. So Stage 1 nga po, Thames tsaka EduRescue ang inyong certificate. Sa Stage 2 naman po, Thames tsaka AKADASIA from Singapore ang inyong certificate. Hindi po to seminar. Meron po tayong assessment. Pero wag po kayong matakot sa assessment because we'll give you several chances sa assessment nyo. But this assessment or online exam is really part of the experience of being a student. Di ba? Kailangan po natin maramdaman kung anong mga online quizzes. So kasama po yan sa inyong full course. So, dapat nyong tapusin po ang Stage 1 bago pumunta sa Stage 2. Ang sponsors po natin dito ay ang mga bangko talagang support, tuloy-tuloy po ang suporta sa ating mga DepEd teachers. Yan po ang City Savings Bank, matagal na pong nating partner, tsaka ang Union Bank. Sila po ang sponsor natin. Kaya po libre ang Stage 1. Ang course po na to ay 3,000 pesos pero nilibre na po natin to dahil nga po sa ating mga sponsors. So, para po makasimula sa inyong course, sa mga hindi pa po nakapag-register sa Stage 1, punta po kayo sa website natin, www.heroes2021.org. Meron po kayong dapat coupon code galing sa inyong CID chief. Kunin niyo po yun. Kaya po, hindi kayo magbabayad ng 3,000 pesos. Libre na po to. Kunin niyo lang po yung coupon code nyo sa inyong CID chief. At ang una nga pong course ay manggagaling sa EduRescue. So, ito po ang itsura ng website. Makikita niyo po doon. Makikita niyo po doon kung saan magre-register. Magkiklik po kayo para mag-enroll. Pagkatapos niyo po ibigay ang inyong coupon code. So, Excited na po kami na maturuan tayong lahat at i-share knowledge namin dito sa Heroes 2021 from Thames International, EduRescue, tsaka AKADASIA in partnership nga po sa DepEd NCR. So DepEd NCR po ang nauuna sa buong Pilipinas na magkaroon ng full online teaching course. So, today po is our second synchronous workshop. So, sa mga FB Live po, kamusta po? Good morning po uli. Ang lecturer po natin ngayon on the power of online digital content is si Miss Suzanne Lanera. Si Miss Suzanne Lanera po, matagal na po kami nagsama sa Thames. Hindi ko na po sasabihin ng ilang taon na kami nagsama, pero makita nyo, batang-bata pa, ang ganda-ganda ng ating profesora ngayon. Isa po yung expert talaga sa online learning. Hindi lang po siya basta tuturuan kayo ng tools. Ang galing po ni Suzanne is how to make it so engaging para online learning will be fun. Alam niyo mga estudyante natin, hindi po pwedeng hindi masaya eh. So, expertise po ni Suzanne Lanera, how to make it fun at the same time educational. So, Suzanne, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel. Hello po. Good morning. Good morning taga DepEd NCR. And sa Zoom, pati rin sa FB Live. My God, ang dami mga participants, 500. Plus marami pa sa FB. Good morning and welcome po.
Sa FB, mga 10,000 yan, Suzanne.
Oh my gosh, ngayon lang ako nag-10,000.
Para kang celebrity. Para kang celebrity, di ba?
Anyway, matagal nga kami nagsama ni Joel kasi ang Thames ang unang experience ko to become a teacher. Okay, so I'll start first with my experience before going to the content, okay? So as I've said, nag-start nga ang Thames to be online. Pursigido talaga sila para mag-train sa amin. To be honest, at andyan si Joel, yung boss ko, at the start, hindi kami, actually ako, hindi ko masyadong siniseryoso. I took it for granted, mag-meeting, hindi ako pwede mag-meeting kasi ang dami-dami kong ginagawa. Meeting dito, meeting dyan. Ay, minsan hindi ko na-attendan. Okay? But they're very, very pursigido when it comes to teacher support. So palagi yan, may meeting. Every week, twice a week yata may meeting. Sa isang school ko rin, pinupursigid din nila kami na mag-blended learning. In fact, meron na kaming module, meron na kaming LMS. Pero syempre, ang ginawa ko lang noon, kasi hindi nga ako nag-a-attend ng meeting, sinalpak ko lang yung PowerPoint ko doon. Kasi nga, ang daming gagawin. However, pagdating nga sa March, to the point pa na binigyan kami ng incentive na sabi, whoever teacher na ilagay lahat sa LMS, one SEM, kung prepared na lahat, kasi kunyari mag-uumpisa na ng August, dapat by June, nandun lahat ang course. Yung mga teacher nga, hindi nga ginagawa yun. Every time lang kung kailan nila tapos. So there was a time nga, or they gave an incentive pa nga, na sabi, whoever teacher na tapos na yung preparation ganyan, will give an incentive. And ang incentive is, bayad kayo, regardless kung holiday, regardless kung bagyo, regardless kung may strike, gano'n. Kasi syempre, di ba, pag college, work, no pay. So kung nagbagyo, malas mo. Wala kang sweldo. I don't know, I think sa public school, package yon, meron sila. Pero kami, no work, no pay. Di ba? There was a time nga, aga-aga ko sa school, 5 o'clock. Pala nag-cancel ang class, patay, sayang ang aking gasolina. So yun, so nag-incentive pa sila. But anyway, pagdating ng March, we're forced to do it. Okay? Though, ang advantage namin is nakuha na namin yung mga training. Now, pag sasabihin nyo, mahirap ba? Sa tingin kong hindi. Pero matrabaho at the start. Okay? Kasi ako, na-overwhelm ako noon. Sabi ko, dami-dami namang ginagawa. 4 ang klase ko dito, 4 ang klase ko dito. Pagawin pa ako nito. Matrabaho at the start. Pero, pag nalatag nyo na lahat, syempre, pare-pareho naman ang klase nyo, magagamit nyo uli yung materials. Also, I remember, may nagtanong, pwede ba yan sa Thunders or sa mga matatanda? Matanda na rin ako di ba? kung kaya ko, kaya nyo. I'm sure a lot of you are young. A lot of the teachers now that I'm talking to are very young. Kung ako, kaya ko, thunders na ako, may lightning pa. They might as well, yung mga bata, kayang-kaya nyo kayo. So I said, huwag lang kayo ma-overwhelm katulad ko. Just take it one step at a time. Okay, so now, mag-umpisa na tayo. So at the end, I'll show you, I'll give you tips, and I'll also give you free tools to use. Okay, so let's start na. Okay, so I'd like to share my slide. Okay, there are times na can you see me? Okay, there are times na I will close my video because meron akong unstable sa video. Okay, so I will close it, but I'll be back. Okay, kasi minsan unstable ang aking internet. Okay, power of online digital content. Ito yung topic na binigay sa akin. So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Suzanne Lenera. I worked 30 years in corporate world, basically in advertising, meaning gumagawa kami ng palastas-tas. Okay? Ang unang buhay ko after college, I worked for my father. It's a medium-sized printing business. And then after that, I switched to advertising. I do client servicing. Hindi ako yung tagagawa ng palatastas. Ako lang ang nagsa-service sa kliyente. Malalaki ang aking, I worked in big advertising firms. I worked big accounts like Colgate, Palmolive, Citibank, Duty Free, Ford, lahat na malalaki na hawakan ko na. Even pangpatay, Prudential Life, na lahat na hawakan ko na. That's why, that was the chance that this was a way on how I went into Thames. Kasi ang Thames, it's a foreign degree. They wanted to get a practitioner, a teacher who's practicing advertising. Wala naman akong education units. May MBA ako. So, gusto nila yung may experience. So, 20 years ago, so you see 20 years, tandaan na natin. 20 years ago, I started with Thames. Ako na yung pinakamatagal na teacher sa Thames na hindi umalis. So 20 years. So I'm teaching college kids, and recently 11th grade and 12th grade, so senior high. Also, I also had an international animal welfare group. This is International Wildlife Coalition Trust. It's a British-funded organization. We save dogs from slaughter, from katay. Also, we want to lessen the population of stray dogs. Kaya nagkakapon kami at nag-neuter para mawala ang stray. Para konti lang ang stray dogs kasi ina-abuse sila. And we give this for free nationwide. So basically, this is me in a nutshell. Okay, so let's start. Ano ba yung learning goals natin? Ang learning goals natin would be, I'll give you what is asynchronous and synchronous. I'm sure alam nyo na to, pero I'll just browse on it. Mabilis lang. And then, I'll go to things that spell success sa online teaching. And then, important skills to effective online teaching. And then, the online content. And you too can be an online teacher. Okay? Kung kaya ko, kaya nyo. Next. Okay. So ano ba ang asynchronous delivery? Okay. Nakikita nyo dito, may naka-highlight ang A. Bakit? Sa totoo lang, until now, nalilito pa ako sa synchronous and asynchronous. Kaya hin-highlight ko yan. All I know is live and self-paced. Okay? Pero now, paano ko nire-relate yan? Sabihin ko mamaya. But anyway, what is asynchronous delivery? Asynchronous delivery is materials. And yeah, materials are created in advance, okay? Kasi self-paced siya. Meaning, yung estudyante dapat motivated, dedicated, kasi siya aandar sa sarili niya. Next, it's learner-centered approach. What is learner-centered approach? This gives students full responsibility on their online training experience. This means that everyone is allowed to decide how, when, and where to learn. This is a great choice for students who are self-disciplined. Also, it's good for concepts and skills that are complex and technical. Lastly, the materials used are slow to change anytime. Okay, so yan ang asynchronous or asynchronous. Now, what is synchronous? As I've said, bakit naka-highlight yung A? Kasi nga nalilito ako until now. Ano ba ang self-paced, ano ganyan? Pag sinabing synchronous, nire-relate ko sa synchronize. Di ba? Synchronize. Ano ba synchronize? Synchronize is doing everything together at real time, etc. So pag nalito ako, nire-remember ko lang synchronize. Synchronous yun. Now, ang opposite is kung may A. So asynchronous meaning opposite, hindi live. Ibig sabihin self-paced. Basta pag may A, usually it's the opposite. Example, sa COVID, symptomatic and asymptomatic. So opposite yun. So what is synchronous? Synchronous is live. Ito, ginagawa natin live. That's synchronous. Second, students learn at the same time. Okay? And communication happens in real time. Na-discuss din ito ni Sir Noni, pati ni Sir Jed during their last seminar. Ano ba mas effective, asynchronous or synchronous? At sinabi nila, which I agree, is asynchronous. Bakit? Hindi mo captured ang students mo. Wala sila sa classroom. Okay? Wala sila sa classroom. So, kung synchronous at maraming distractions, paano yon? Tatawagin sila ni nanay para maglaba, turuan magluto, may tatahol-tahol na aso o manok, or what pa, may problema sa bahay, synchronous, magulo. So, pag asynchronous, kontrolado nila. So, my recommendation would be around 70% asynchronous and 30% synchronous. Okay? So, these are the things that spell success to online teaching. Meron akong 5. These are, things that spell success to online teaching. We have lecture creation. I will explain later. We have lecture delivery. Paano mo i-deliver? Meron communication. How will you communicate? Okay? At sa synchronous, sa live, and sa self-paced. Meron din feedback. Paano ka mag-feedback? Survey lang ba? Meron din resources. So let's start with lecture creation. Okay? Medyo nag-i-internet unstable ako, so isasara ko muna ang video ko, but I'll be here. Okay. So there. Let me start with lecture creation. There are many ways to create a lecture, but you must understand na maraming various ways to create a lecture. Okay? Because if you choose other approaches that are more difficult, so marami siyang, as I've said, marami siyang approaches. May mahirap, may madali. Siyempre, i-choose mo na lang yung madali, yung alam mo. Kasi if you will choose yung mahirap, wala ka ng oras, di ba? Kailangan na tayo magturo ng asynchronous or ng synchronous or asynchronous. So, kunin mo na lang ang madali for you, yung alam mo lang, okay? And pag naka-prepare ka na, then you can train yourself, kuha ka sa YouTube, on tutorial, paturo ka sa estudyante mo, paano gumawa ng mga mag-edit, etc. But at this point, sa lecture creation, pag nagsa-start lang tayo, kunin mo na lang yung style or approach na alam mo or it's easy for you. Kasi you might not finish the content on time. Okay? Because we have to act fast. So example, pag magaling ka mag-PowerPoint o marunong ka mag-PowerPoint, ito na picture, or marunong ka mag video, create ka ng video. So, mag-video ka. So, depende kung ano ang maganda sa'yo. Okay? Next would be, so there, hold on. So choose a lecture style that is easy for you to create. Second is, it has the potential to engage students. Okay? Kailangan hawak mo sila, kailangan may connection ka sa kanila. Even though wala ka doon, yung slides mo, yung video mo, kailangan hawak mo sila. Konektado ka pa rin. And lastly, look for contents to curate. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin ng curate? Curate means using other people's content in an appropriate way without violating copyright. So, ibig sabihin, kunyari, gagawa ka ng video, i-edit mo yung video, lalagay mo dun yung source mo. Or kunyari, kukuha ka ng paragraph na sinabi ng isa, then you have to cite it. Okay? So, ang creation, the lecture creation is hindi lang creation, but it can be curation. Okay? Next, lecture. How will you deliver your content? So, naka-create ka na, paano mo i-deliver? So, meron mga ways. You have LMS or Learning Management System, which is the Google Classroom, which matuturo sa iyo later. Then, meron mga video call apps. What are video call apps? These, Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, Facebook, maraming video call apps, and other tools. Ano ba yung other tools? Itong other tools, pagdating mo sa gadgets, ito yung mga apps, okay, na makakatulong sa'yo to make it very engaging. Okay? Next. There. You have to make it engaging. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng engaging? So lahat ito kailangan engaging. Kung hindi, matutulog o hindi nila ifa-follow yung lecture mo. So ano ba ibig sabihin ng engaging? Engaging means nakakaengganyo. Okay? Kailangan maengganyo mo sila. Maski wala ka doon, PowerPoint lang, video lang, etc. Kailangan maengganyo mo sila. So there. Next would be communication. Okay? Communication, this is important for your instructions should be clear. You must have defined objectives, learning outcomes. Dapat yung mga yon lahat clear. Okay, so sandali. Ito. Okay, you must define your learning outcomes very clearly. Ano ba yung learning outcomes? Ito yung objectives mo. And then you must have a list of expectations, and it should be very clear as well. Okay, now, there are three types of interaction when it comes to online learning. You have teacher and student, student and student, and because this is online learning, meron na tayong student and content. Noon, traditional teaching sa atin, lecture tayo, teacher and student. But also, student and student, pag nag-group sila. Pero now, because of the internet, meron ng student and content. And this is very relevant for asynchronous. Okay? So, there. Online teaching is student-centered, not teacher-centered. Hindi na tayo bida. Ang bida is the student already. Kailangan natin malaman ano ba ang kailangan nilang matutunan. Ano ang importante sa kanila. Okay? You must give clear instructions. Kasi kung hindi clear instructions, they might not follow you. Okay? Clear instructions on how to use content. Okay? You must provide resources. Saan ba nila makukuha to? Or you can provide resources so students can collaborate. Example, group discussion. Siyempre, pwede rin mag-group discussion. Pwede ka mag-group discussion live. Okay? So, paano lang gagawin yung group discussion? Ano yung mga issues? Dapat klaro yon. So you need to provide them as well with opportunities. Next would be feedback. The last would be feedback. Feedback is not just survey. Though it can use survey, pero at the end of because feedback, you can use survey at the end of the course. But feedback is a continued feedback loop. Continuous yan. Anong ibig mo sabihin? That means you give feedback either individually, via email, or pag nag-live kayo, or you can have group feedback. Let's say, during asynchronous, pwede kang magbigay ng feedback for the whole group. Sasabihin mo, okay, because of your assessment, nakita ko yung mga test, medyo hindi yata naintindihan. So you have to explain, if asynchronous. Or you can send an email to a group. Or individual, as I've said. Okay? So pwede mong sabihin, oh, you did very well, pero medyo parang hindi mo naintindihan yan. But always give praise to the students. Remember, a teacher here is a facilitator, hindi na siya lecturer, for a blended learning, online teaching. Okay? Plus, teach them positively. Meaning, for me it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work na ang teacher terror. Kasi na-terrorize na ako nung bata ako grade school. Na-remember ko nga, pero ang na-remember ko yung turo niya. This was the United Nations, whatever about the United Nations. Grade 6 ako noon. Tapang, palagi naggaganon ng ruler. Diba? So takot ka. Pero, did she get positive impact on me? Wala. Diba? Wala. So dapat, positive, palagi positive. In my student, at the first lang, I just may kwento, nung sa student ko, every first day of class, I give my rules. Sasabihin ko, okay, here in my class, kailangan no judgments, walang tatawa. Okay, kasi syempre, meron din ako mga special kids na nandun. Then, walang tatawa. Number 2, kasi kung makita ko natatawa, ikaw ang paparecite ko the whole time. Number 2, I always give good feedback. Number 2, kailangan sila mag-recite all the time. Okay? Ayokong, bawal ang magsabi, pag tinawag ko kayo, you cannot say, I don't know, I pass, sinabi na miss, pareho lang. Hindi. Bakit? I always tell them this. Sasabihin ko sa kanila na I know all of you have this. Kasi kung wala kayo dito sa klase ko. Right? Kailangan, you have to encourage them. And I tell them, pag mali naman kayo, hindi ko naman sasabihin, oy, bobo mo naman. I won't say that. I'm just gonna say, okay, next, what else? So pag sinabi ko, yes, next, what else? Alam nila mali. Okay? So every time, there was one law professor that asked yesterday, because we did also seminars for them. Tinanong nila, paano ba maiinganyo or, para mag-recite? So yun ang ginagawa ko. So if let's say, ayaw nila mag-recite at tinawag ko siya, hihinto ako. The world will stand still. As in, uupo ako or now, hihinto ako. Mag-antay siya. Mag-antay lahat ng klase. So mape-pressure siya. Right? So ngayon, ganun ako magturo. So lahat ng estudyante ko nagre-recite. So I tell them, maske mali. Okay? Kailangan nyo to sa real world. Hindi naman lahat tama. Diba? As long as mag-recite ka. Kasi, pag hindi ka mag-recite, pag nagtrabaho ka na, hindi ka pwedeng yes, yes, yes ka lang. Aapakan ka. Pati kung yes, yes, yes ka lang, sasabihin wala ka nito. Hindi ka assertive. You have to be assertive. Okay? So there, iba akong topic. So there, you have to have continuous feedback. Okay? But of course, at the end of the course, then you can have survey or quizzes para lang to assess kung may naintindihan sila. Next, we go to resources. And there are hundreds of resources on the net. Mamaya, after this, punta kayo sa YouTube, ang daming resources. So you can do it for your content. Okay, syempre, di tayo kukopya, di ba? Ano lang tayo, kukuha lang kayo ng idea. Then quizzes, ang daming types of quizzes. Essay, debate, whatever. You can look for other questions and you can build it up. Next, we have also activities. Ang daming activities. Ang daming creative activities. So, I'll show you later mga activities na nagaganda. And then tools. So, maraming websites. Meron din mga websites for educational games. Tools, marami din. So, I'll show you later. So, to recap, these are the things that spell success to online teaching. We have lecture creation. Meron tayong lecture delivery. Meron tayong communication, meron tayong feedback, and meron tayong resources. Okay? Now we move. Tinitingnan ko yung oras. So there are 3 skills to effective online teaching. Okay. The focus of online teaching should be the learning of the student. Sabi ko nga kanina, bida ang estudyante. So kailangan ang learning niya, ang pinaka-importante sa online teaching, okay? So you want to ask the questions like, what do I want my students to learn in the course? What is my strategy to help them learn? Okay, how will I know that they have learned? So pwedeng bigyan natin ng quiz, ng assessment, pa-survey, ganon. So your online course should solve the problem of your students. You must address the important points of your students if they're confused, etc. So, ito, maraming resources. Now, they are going now to the 3 skills to effective online teaching. We have communication. Okay, sinabi ko na to kanina. Okay, communication, nasabi ko na to kanina. Understanding technology and instructions design skills. Okay? So we start with communication. As I've said, sa communication, there are 3 types. Okay? Inulit ko lang. You have teacher and student, you have student, and you have student and content. Now, what is the main difference? Unstable na naman ako. Okay, what is the main difference between online teaching and face-to-face teaching? The main difference is we're using the internet. Okay? Yun lang naman ang difference. Basic difference. And this create a difference when it comes to communication, learning technology, and design of the course. There's a big difference when you communicate face-to-face and when you communicate online. In face-to-face, the most important thing is not only what you're saying, but your body language. Diba? Kailangan credible ka. Kailangan authoritative ka, pero hindi terror ha, authoritative, firm. Kailangan may eye contact ka. Like now, hindi ko kayo nakikita, camera lang nakikita ko, dapat eye contact. Also, you have to have effective body language so you can convey it effectively at may engagement. So also, it's like explaining your content and explaining your content and pag nag-ask kayo ng questions. You do this in face-to-face teaching, but not in asynchronous. If you can do this, if it's blended like asynchronous and synchronous. Okay? Next, technology. Okay? There are a few technology. You have to choose tools that are engaging. Okay? As I've said, pwede yung PowerPoint tools mo, pwede PowerPoint mo, pwede mong engaging. Paano? Lagyan mo ng visuals. Lagyan mo ng malalaking text like this. Di ba? Yung text ko ngayon, kukunti lang, malalaki. May visual siya. Kasi, remember, pag online, ang dami-dami ng ginagawa ng mga bata. Okay? Overwhelmed na sila. Okay? Overload. Kung lalagyan mo ng lahat ng text dyan, hindi nila babasahin. So, dapat malalaking font, very visual, very easy to understand. Now, if you do like this, kailangan, it can just be an hour lang, face-to-face. Diba? Or even when we teach sa school, kasi captured po siya. Pero pag gumawa ka ng video, pinakamatagal na is 15 minutes. Dapat nga 5 minutes lang eh. That's why you have to make your communication very clear. Your message should be very clear, or else you lose motivation. Now, for technology, basic lang naman yan, but you can be very creative. Okay? You can get online activities. I'll show you later mga samples. So, kailangan creative ka rin. I'm sure yung mga batang teachers ngayon, you're very creative. And even tayo, mga matatanda, ang dami. You can be so creative. Ang daming mga resources. You just have to understand the technology. Okay? Don't fear technology. Ako, pag hindi ako marunong mag-edit, meron akong estudyante marunong. Nagpapaturo ako. Even now, lockdown, sinasabi niya, Miss, ito step by step. Ito po, step 1, ganyan. Tapos papakita niya yung picture kung saan. Ganon. So, ang dami. Okay? So, don't fear technology. Technology lang yan. Okay? Next, instructional design. Okay. Okay, ano na naman. Okay, for instructional design, you have to know how to design your lecture, how to design your workshops, how to design your quizzes, assignment. You have to learn this well. So the traditional way to design your course is, of course, you just get your book, and then, you get your book. The traditional is, kuha ka ng book, hanap ka lang ng mga topics, lagay mo na. Okay? Pero now, the best way to design your course is, isip nyo, what will your student need to learn? So example, for this outcome, ito yung outcome. When I say outcome, objective. Ito yung objective, ano yung content ko? And after the content, ano yung video ko? Ano yung tools? Is it video, PowerPoint, audio, what? Okay? So, to recap, these are the 3 skills to effective online teaching. We have communication, we have understanding technology, and we have instruction design skills. Simple lang sila. Okay? Now, I'd like to proceed to developing online learning content. Okay. Before starting with online learning content, I'd like to show you ano bang nakaka-turn off, okay, sa online learners. Number 1, long academic text to read online. Sabi ko sa inyo, nakaka-turn off kung maraming text. Di ba kayo rin naman, pag nagbabasa, ayaw niyo maraming text. Di ba? So, you have to be concise in your message. Kailangan short paragraph, may spacing, etc. Okay, now if you do PowerPoint, as I've said, dapat klaro lang, like this, very clean, malalaki ang font, konti lang ang elements, ganon. Next, insufficient visual stimulus. When you do your PowerPoint, especially pag asynchronous, okay, dapat may visual. Dito, wala akong visual kasi kinakausap ko kayo. Pero kung asynchronous na they're doing it on their own, dapat lagyan mo ng visual. Next, huge resource library that needs wading through. Huwag mong ilalagay doon, ito ang website, tapos ang dami-daming resource doon, etc. Hindi lang hanapin yun. Magbigay ka na lang na sa tingin mo, importante sa kanila or magagawa nila. Next, don't ask them to download large files. Especially, minsan, mahirap nga ang bandwidth, kagaya sa akin, unstable. Paano ka makaka-download? Diba? Bigay ka lang, kung magpapa-download ka, edi yung 1 to 2, 3 pages lang. So these are some things that will turn off online students. Now, ano yung nakaka-engage sa kanila or paano sila ma-engganyo? Number 1, quick hits of facts and information. Ano to? Pwede ka maglagay ng tips, pwede ka maglagay ng quotes, pwede maglagay ka ng infographics. I'll teach you what an infographic is. Then short paragraph but detailed rich. As I've said, wag long paragraph, short lang. Pero klaro, if possible, bullets. Okay? Next, games that use the new knowledge immediately. Okay? So maraming games sa internet. Marami. So look at the resources. I will give you a link for that. Next, clear and pertinent infographics and charts. I will show you later what's an infographic and chart. This is parang a diagram lang, a colorful diagram, that in a snapshot, you're going to see the info. You're going to see, let's say, the history in a snapshot, makikita mo, or the process, makikita mo in a snapshot. And reflective questions. Now, these reflective questions can be either through essays. Para essays, pwede siyang video na magsasalita sila about their reflections, pwedeng journals, or pwedeng group work, group dynamics na pwede lang ibigay yung reflections nila. So I gave you na the turn off and how to be engaging. Next, the steps in developing online content. I hope I'm not too fast. Okay lang ba? Okay, kasi may oras ako. Okay, steps in developing online content. There are 5 steps in developing online content. First, define the structure. I will explain this each. Next, define the module units. Next, define your outcomes. When I say outcomes, objective. Anong gusto mong ang outcome? Next, develop your content. And last, present your content. Iisa-isahin natin to. Define the structure. Okay? So, there. Define the structure. Before starting with the content development for your outline learning course, you should have a clear idea of how you want to structure your content. Okay? A proper structure will provide you with high-level overview of the entire course. Kailangan may struktura kayo. It's like building, let's say, building a house. Diba? Kailangan may pundasyon, may structure, may drawing, etc. Hindi lang salpak ka lang ng salpak ng, lagay ka dito ng hollow blocks, lagay ka, hindi. Kailangan may structure. Okay? So, hindi tayo pwedeng kukuha lang sa libro, ito yung content, ito, hindi. Kailangan may structure. Next, this, okay? This is a structure. This is a sample of a structure. Meron kang module unit. Meron kang module, sorry. This is module. This is module unit. This is outcome and content. Ano ba ang module? Sa libro, module would be your chapter. Okay? Module unit. Ano ba ang module unit? This would be your topics. Different topics. Okay? Hindi lang to dalawa. Pwede to in one module. Sorry module to. In one module, pwedeng 3 or 4. Ano ang outcomes? Outcome is your objective. Learning outcomes. And then, if you know that, then you can do your content already. Okay? So example, because I'm teaching marketing, ang module ko is customer-driven value strategy. Okay? Yon ang module ko or my chapter. So, ang module unit ko dito can be segmentation. Okay? Ang module unit ko dito can be targeting. So, sa module unit, ano bang gusto kong malaman ng estudyante? Okay, ang gusto kong malaman, learning outcomes would be, they have to define at the end of the course, they can define what segmentation is. They have, number 2, they can explain why segmentation is important sa marketing. Number 3, pwede yan itong outcomes, pwede itong 2 to 5, okay? Another would be, they should understand what segmentation is and how it can aid in the targeting business prospects. So ito yung outcomes or objective, learning objectives. Now, as for targeting, market targeting, ang outcome ko can be, they should learn the different types of targeting strategies. They should explain how targeting influences each of the marketing mix. So here, yun ang gusto mo, your objectives. So pag alam mo na yung objectives, then punta ka na sa content. Alam mo na kung ano ang ilalagay mo, ang ituturo mo. So this is a basic structure. Hindi lang kukuha ka lang ng information, okay, gawa ka na hindi. Para alam mo, may flow ka. Okay? Next would be develop your content. Okay? The knowledge you have to share now needs to be organized into module units, which I said, okay, and outcomes has to be identified. So you need to organize now what the knowledge you have to share now needs to be organized. So with your structure, alam mo na kasi dapat ma-organize mo na paano mo ilalagay. Because the most important or the most single thing that you want them is ano ba ang matututunan nila. Okay? Now, you can do this again via PowerPoint or you can do this again via audio, recording, video, whatever. So what is the most single thing that they that you want them to take away from this learning? Next, present the content. Tama ba? Okay, hold on. Yeah, so present the content. So using a variety of effective presentation skills. So your presentation technique should be, number 1, it keeps the student engaging. Dapat na-engganyo sila. Okay? Hindi boring, hindi flat, hindi dull. Okay? Dapat na-engganyo mo sila. Second, it has to improve the retention of knowledge. Para maski iba na ginagawa, naintindihan niya, yung marketing, ganito pala ang marketing mix. Ganyan. Para it will help them as well. So dapat ma-retain niya. Kaya nga dapat engaging yung activity. Next, make complex concepts simpler to grasp. When you present, kailangan simple lang. Okay? Like for me now, I didn't use heavy terms, heavy concepts, heavy terminologies. Kasi kung ako rin ang makikinig, hindi ko rin maintindihan. Di ba? So there was a time na, yun, parang ayoko masyadong mabigat. Gusto ko kailangan madaling intindihin. Okay? So these are the techniques. Also, before I forget, kailangan hindi sila ma-demotivate. Okay? Kasi pag hindi ko maintindihan yung presentation o yung technique na ginamit, mawawalan ako ng gana. Okay? Example, ang nilagay mo doon, puro heavy concepts na hindi ko maintindihan. Mawawalan ako ng gana. Diba? Kasi marami na akong racket, meron din ako mga website, ganun. Nag-online din ako. I enrolled in online course. Okay? Mahal ang binayad ko noon, $1. Grabe, hindi ko maintindihan yung mga terms, yung mga SEO, analytics, heavy complex linking. Wala akong maintindihan doon. Okay? So what I did, nawalan ako ng gana. So nung nawalan ako ng gana, siguro 2 weeks hindi ko binasa. Kasi walang live yun eh. Puro asynchronous. So, paano yun? So, inisip ko after 2 weeks, shocks, mahal naman ang binayad ko, sayang naman. So, talagang minotivate ko sarili ko para intindihin. Pero, make sure that it's easier to grasp. Okay. Another technique would be video. When you do your video, there is 2 types, talking head or screen capture. Okay? For the talking head, this is a talking head. If I talk now, okay, ito, talking head. I'll show you an example. And a screen capture. Ang screen capture is, yung PowerPoint lang ang gumagalaw. Andali, hold on. I'll stop share. I'll show you something. Wait. Wait lang. Wait lang. Nasaan ba siya? Okay. Okay. Share. Ito. Can you see? Now, this is a talking head video. There. Okay. So, there. This is a talking head. Okay? Nag-uusap ka lang. That's a talking head. That's one type of video that you can do. Okay? Next would be, hold on. Dali, hindi pa. Okay. Next would be yung screen capture. I'll show you. Okay. This is a screen capture. Ito, ginawa ko to. Okay. There. Okay. So ito,
actually, it's a document used and created.
I recorded this using a free app.
Background, skills, and most important.
So ito yung PowerPoint ko. Ito yung mga controls.
Okay. But most often, they are used to secure new employment.
So, gagalaw din ang cursor mo. So, you can point. So, this is a screen capture video. So, there.
It's more detailed. It's a detailed.
And then you can use your voice. So, you record this as live. Okay? So, there. So, we go back. Di lang. We go back to my slide. There. So, you can have a talking head or a screen capture. You can record this. Okay? You can record this. I'll show you ways on how to record this. Next, you can have audio. Audio lang is audio. Okay? Ano ang important ng audio? Pwede lang pakinggan to habang nagluluto. Pwede lang pakinggan to bago matulog, nasa banyo, etc. So you can use this as well. And then there are tools also how to use this. Then you have slides, and slides can be PowerPoint, PDF, okay? And you have infographics. I'll show you what an infographic is. And then you can have polls. Polls is yung mga survey like, ito, like tinanong nila, what emoji best represents you today? Tapos answer sila, and then lalabas to. Okay, this is what you call Mentimeter. May mga different types of polls. One of them is Mentimeter. So you can use this for quizzes, for warm-up discussions, kunyari nabobore na yung mga tao, feedback, social experiments, and games. Next, this is infographic. Okay, in a snapshot, you can see, okay, ito, history ng money. So you can see in a snapshot, etc. kung paano. Or pwede mo rin itong gawin, let's say, disadvantage and advantage. Or yung process. Ang dami mong magagawa here. So it's very clear, in a snapshot, you're going, maintindihan mo na siya. Next, we have reflections. You can ask them to do blogs. journals. Or you can ask them to video themselves and do something. Okay? Pwede rin silang, maski hindi reflections, pwede silang mag-TikTok, whatever, kung ano yung nire-reflect nila through a TikTok. Pwede silang mag-group discussion. Pwede silang mag-audio lang. Okay? Next, games. There are a lot of games here sa video. Meron kang, let's say you want to identify, meron siyang online games. Okay? This is the site that I used. And then, eto, meron din ruleta. Again, I'll show you just for a minute. Hold on. Wait lang. Wait lang ha. Sorry, handali. Handali lang. There. So this is a website. This is a website that I saw in the internet. Okay, these are all free. Okay, free online educational game sites. So yan, meron dyan. Okay, so yan. So you can get from here, and then if we click National Geographic, I have to go out kasi hindi naka-transition to eh. So if we click National Geographic, then hold on. This. I will go to this site. There. Okay? So here. So kunyari, Mars, let's click this. Click. So, yan. Okay, so lalabas siya. And then, you can, how many moons does Mars have? Hindi ko alam. So, kunyari, 2. Correct. Wow, correct ako. So, 2. Next. What is Mars' nickname? Red planet, syempre. So, there. So, how long will it take to, I don't know, maybe 8. Oh, tama pala. So, yung mga ganon. So, it's good. True. Science about liquid? Yes, true. Wow, very good ako pala. Okay, so ito, maraming quizzes here. Okay? Next would be, we go back to my slide. Okay. Here. There. Next, we go to discussion boards. Discussion boards are para siyang bulletin board na you can post. Meron siyang tool na nakalagay pangalan Padlet. Pwede siyang Padlet. This is what I use for Padlet. And then may flip grid. Ang Padlet, free siya pero one panel lang. Ang flip grid, free siya and maski ilan panel. So here, what I use here, I want them to introduce themselves. So sabi ko sa kanila, gumawa sila ng video and post it para makita ng iba. So yan, nag-post sila and then may mga comments pa. So you can use this. Okay, next. So there. So I already gave you the steps in developing online content. So you have defined the structure, define the modules, define the outcomes, develop the content, and present the content. Okay. Next, how to be or what is the task of an online teacher? Bibilisan ko lang, wala na yatang oras. Okay, there are two tasks of an online teacher. You have a content creator and a content deliver. Okay, ibig sabihin, ikaw gagawa ng content mo, di ba? Kasi ikaw naman may kailangan marunong sa content mo eh. You cannot ask your sister, your secretary, or your student to do it. Kasi ikaw ang may alam nun. Ikaw ang teacher eh. Di ba? So as I've said, you can be a content creator and a content curator. Ang dami mong gagawin. Hindi ka lang content creator. Hindi ka lang writer. Technician ka pa. Editor ka pa. Content delivery. Okay? Hindi lang to. Okay? Meron pang isa. Admin. Di ba? Like for me, sa school ko, kailangan pa kami magbigay ng report na okay, kailan ka nag-asynchronous, anong time, ganong katagal, sino yung mga estudyante ang hindi nagpa-participate, sino yung mga estudyante ang palaging absent, ano yung student number niya. Kailangan may picture ka, may screen cap ka na nagtuturo ka. Okay? Kung hindi, wala kang sweldo. They have to have an evidence na nagturo ka. So, content creator, content delivery, admin. Dami. Okay? Kaya nga at the start, overwhelmed ako. Pero, now, tinan mo, very smooth na. O, kayang-kaya na. Okay. Next, so ito, ang content creator, you have videos. As I've said, there are 2, right? You have talking head at saka screen capture. Okay? There. And then, meron kang slides and PowerPoint. So, whatever. Next, you have quiz banks. Dito, i-collect mo na yung mga, ano ba yung mga quizzes mo na ibibigay for each module. Okay? Next, you have audio. Pwede kang mag-audio. So, ito lahat ang magagawa mo. Okay? That's for content creation and content curation. Next, content delivery. Paano mo i-deliver? Learning management system. Okay, maraming free learning management system. Sometimes your school can give you learning management system. And these are Google Classroom, which you will learn kay Sir Jed later. And these are some free. Neo LMS, Moodle, Edmodo, Canvas, Freeju. Okay, some are free. I don't know if Freeju is, I think this is paid. But what we use, in my other school, I use Neo. Okay, in Thames, we use Freeju. Next, video call apps. Video call apps are Zoom, Google Meet, and Skype. In Thames noon, Google Meet ako. Kasi Google Meet is madali lang, madali, very user-friendly, madali. Pero, ni-require kami ng Thames to use Zoom. So, hindi ko pa na naman alam, another aral-aral na naman. Ngayon, gusto ko na ang Zoom. Bakit? Ang Zoom may virtual background. Yung likod ko dito, I'm in my bedroom right now. Hindi mo nakikita yung aking bedroom. Okay, kasi syempre gusto mo ng privacy, right? Minsan nagtuturo ako sa sala ko. Okay, so ayaw ko naman makita nila. So, virtual background. Next, ang Zoom may breakout rooms. Ang breakout rooms, pwede mo sila papuntahin and pwede sila mag-discuss doon. Tapos may project, labas na lang sila sa main room, gano'n. Ginagawa ko to pag presentation skills because I teach business comm. So pag presentation skills, lahat sila pumupunta sa breakout room. Parang Miss Universe, pupunta sila muna sa capsulized. So yun, tapos yung isa-isa tumatak, pumapunta at tinatanong ko sila. Oral exams kasi ako palagi. So yun, that's good. However, ang mahirap sa Zoom is meron siyang 40 minutes, okay? Kung wala kang account. Ako, wala akong account, pero ang school may account. So you ask your school, meron ba silang account? So kung meron silang account, pwede nilang pahiramin sa'yo on your specific lecture time. Pwede yun. Ang Google Meet walang, I don't think may limit siya. Okay? Ang Skype, pwede rin, or Facebook. The last would be the tools. Ano ba yung tools? There are several tools, Edpuzzle, Decide Wheel, Mentimeter, Kahoot. Okay, bakit may YouTube dito? May YouTube dito kasi if let's say you record, okay, your own video, either talking head or screen cap, medyo mahirap pag i-upload mo sa learning system. When I say mahirap, ano yon? Yung nagbabuffer, okay, matagal. Or minsan, pag yung student gusto i-rewind, mahirap i-rewind. So what I do is, I go to YouTube and upload it there. And when you upload it there, meron siyang way para maging private. I'll show you. Just 2 minutes, matatapos na ako. Okay, example would be this. YouTube. Okay, how do I share? Okay, here. This, okay? So this is my Thames email. Dito, may 9 dots. Okay, you click here, and then YouTube dito. So you click YouTube. Okay, if you click YouTube, meron ditong camera. When you click the camera, may upload. When you upload, then, upload. Tinong bagal ang internet ko. Okay, upload. So ito, upload mo dyan. Ay, shucks, sorry. Andali. Ito, select files. Pag select files, upload ka. Kunyari, ito. Okay, kunyari lang yan. So, upload mo, meron parang rocket na aakyat. And then, pag na-upload na, bakit tayo mag-upload? Okay, pag upload na, siyempre lalagay mo yan. Okay, there, click mo to if it's not for kids, or pwede for kids. Okay, pero ako nilalagay ko not for kids. Pero, okay naman dyan kasi meron pa naman others dyan. Maski hindi for kids, pwede naman yan. And then, nag-upload na siya, di ba? Next would be, click ka lang dyan. And then, there. And then, click ka uli. Ayan, may malalaman kung paano ba isa-save? Private, unlisted, or public? So lalagay mo unlisted. So which means bibigyan ka ng link here na yan, ito yung link. Dito yung bibigyan ka ng link here na pwede mong i-embed, ilagay sa LMS mo. Or pwede mo ibigay sa chat or sa email. Okay? So yun. So tap ko na. So there. And then the last would be, wait lang. The last, sorry. The last would be, sandali. Hold on. The last would be, we go back here. Okay. So yan, tapos na tayo dito. So this is Ed Puzzle. So tools na tayo. Kumbaga sa gadget, ano tayo, apps. So itong Ed Gadget, free ito. You can, it gives you, it's a game changer application that you can use it's parang a customized video player. So here, you can choose your videos from YouTube, Khan Academy, maraming videos dyan. And then, what you can do is you can edit. Kunyari, gusto mo lang makuha yung scene sa Titanic, scene na malapit sa sila malubog. Kunyari lang. So, kukunin mo lang yung scene, e-edit mo yon. And then, you can configure this in such a way na on a particular scene, bigla siyang hihinto at merong question. Okay, so pwede yun. Tapos, syempre, kailangan yung student mag-answer. Hindi aandar yung video mo unless mag-answer siya. Okay? So, pwede siyang ganon, answer, yun. And then, would be, this is very engaging. This is very engaging. So, there, hold on. I'll show you this is what I use, the decide wheel. The decide wheel will be this, and this would be my last, hold on, wait a minute. There. This decide wheel, pwede mong gamitin sa recitation. There. Okay? Ginagamit ko to to check, para siyang, panahon ko parang spin a win. Okay? Tapos naging Wheel of Fortune. So yan, you can choose, kunyari, gusto mo walang mag-recite, dilagay mo dyan mga names ng mga students. Or kunyari, pwede mo silang i-choose, kunyari, anong type of questions. Okay? Parang Miss Universe, anong question. Or pwede mo ilagay dyan kung anong type of quizzes na bibigay mo. So this is very interactive, the design wheel. Okay, so we go back and then there. So marami. Then you can do, okay, this is my last slide. My last slide will show you the free softwares to use. And you can do recording, for editing, and for compressing. For recording, lahat ng laptop at gadget may free video and audio record. Ito ginagamit ko laptop, medyo luma na to, but this is how I record. Okay, so you can do your recording here. You can do your what I gave you, yung screen capture. Pwede dito. Okay, now may built-in audio siya at may camera. Okay, however, kung gusto mong kumuha ng application, then may OBS Studio. OBS Studio is a free app as well na you can do your recording. Loom, what is Loom? Loom is what I used when I did the screen capture thing. Yung lecture ko na voiceover. So Loom. Okay? Next also, Audacity. You can compromise on your video but not on your audio. Kasi kailangan klaro yung audio mo. So, kung medyo malabo yung laptop mo or yung gadget mo sa audio, go to Audacity. This is a free software when you can record. Now, for editing, I use Movie Maker. Sa Windows ako, Movie Maker. And this is free. Marami I don't know lang sa Mac, pero sa Windows, Movie Maker. So you can download this. This is free and even maski lumang version. Kasi ako, lumang version. Di ba naman kailangan may flip and tumbles dyan? So yun. Or you can get HitFilm. HitFilm is free editing also. So ito, you can download this and this is free. I put here Filmora. Anong Filmora? Filmora, this is not free, pero I bought it in Lazada, which is cheap. But if you really buy this, medyo mahal. So what is Filmora? I put my recording, meron akong pangalan doon, na may stamp ako ng pangalan doon para hindi kopyahin. Kasi when I started teaching PowerPoint ko, na-discover ko na isang teacher ginagamit ang PowerPoint ko without my knowledge. So, di ba, off naman yon. So now, I'm very careful. So all my recording, may pangalan ko doon. Hindi lang ma-erase. Okay, but again, that's not free. So, and then you do your compress or, ayan, unstable na naman. Okay, compress. You have to compress all this kasi medyo mabigat yung audio and your video. So there's a software that you can use. It's called Handbrake. Okay, this is a free software when you can compress. And like for me, I use my laptop or even your desktop para hindi masyadong mabagal ang pagkatakbo. Then, lagay mo agad, i-compress mo agad. Me naman, I remove everything, my file na mabibigat, and put it here in my external drive. Okay? So, that's it. Medyo mahaba lang at medyo madaldal ako ngayon. So, that's it. Thank you very much. Let's do the Q&A. There. Okay. I'll stop my sharing. I hope naintindihan or hindi masyado mabigat. Any questions? Hi, Sir Jed. You're here pala. Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Very nice. Very, I think
Very madaldal. Hello po. Buti walang umalis. Hello din sa Facebook.
lang pa nga ang time.
Okay, may question po kayo.
Ma'am, meron tayo sa Q&A portion. Dun sa Q&A button, we have some questions.
Meron ba? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
If we don't have a coupon, can we still have a certificate for this course? Though I don't know yet if we have a sufficient coupon. Sir Jed?
For the online, for the self-paced, I think you have to get a coupon code from your DepEd supers, from your supervisors, in order to access the course.
Okay, ma'am, ano ang strategy sa online teaching if may students ka na deaf sa klase? Ang importante dito is really, kailangan engaging ka eh. May mga visual, so highly visual. I think meron din mga activities para sa deaf. Okay? So dapat mas mapursigido ang pagka-engage mo. So pwede kang, kagaya niyan, yung deaf, yung mga Mars yan. Marami. Visual naman, highly visual na yon. You just have to look sa internet. Good morning. Is it advisable to give a copy of the PowerPoint presentations to students for them to review after? What if they're just going to use it to just answer seat work after, but they didn't really focus on the topic? Ako, what I do is I record all my videos, especially asynchronous ha, kasi minsan yung mga iba, yung mga students, they don't attend. Minsan absent sila, hindi sila pwede. So para hindi lang ma-miss ang class. So can you give PowerPoint presentations to students for them? Yes, I do. I do. Okay? Kaya nga nalaman ko na kinopya yung PowerPoint ko, nalaman ko. Kasi yung teacher niya, hindi ko siya tinuturuan. Tapos sabi niya, Miss, ito yung tinuturo ko, ganyan. Pala, deck ko. Okay. Sir, what are the requirements to be able to enroll sa online course? How to enroll? Sir Jed?
Okay, so with the course, lahat po ng instructions nandun po sa heroes2021.org. On how to enroll. Okay, so siguro let's use po this time to ask questions kay Ma'am Suzanne kasi limited po ang time natin. But for any technical question po on registering online, just go to heroes2021.org po. Meron instructions doon and you can email naman the support kung meron po kayong questions.
Okay, sir. Ano po what specs requirements ang need sa laptop or desktop para sa online teaching? Ang dami ng apps na need po na gamitin. Sir Jed, hindi ako technical. Ano yung specs daw?
Well, actually, the specs will depend po. One thing about online learning is that I'm sure nanonood po kayo ng maraming webinars at maraming tutorials. At ang pinaka-importante po sa online learning is yung mga natututunan nyo po, i-adapt nyo po sa inyong mga students. Kasi hindi naman po lahat merong laptop, hindi lahat may tablet, hindi lahat may smartphone. Yung iba nga offline. So, ang question na po yan, there's no one answer. Kailangan po intindihin natin ang kailangan ng students ninyo, and then kayo po, as teachers, isipin nyo po paano madi-deliver.
Okay, thank you Ma'am Suzanne, thank you too. Good morning po. Ano ang pinaka-effective na online platform para sa mga estudyante? Sa akin would be asynchronous at this point. Kasi nga, they're learning it on their own pace. Kasi nga kung synchronous ganito, technical problems, baka may problema sa bahay, or andyan si boyfriend, so ang dami. So you cannot control. Versus pag nasa classroom ka live, nandun lang sila sa room, makokontrol mo. So for now, it is, I think, more on asynchronous. Sama, nalilito pa ako, asynchronous. Okay. Paano magkaroon ng part 2 yung online course? Sir Jed, hindi ko alam to. Ano yung paano magkaroon ng part 2?
Oh, yung part 2, well, we are working. So depende po yan sa DepEd and our support and all our partners. And we're actually working hard na tuloy-tuloy po itong ating mga lessons, whether self-paced or mga live katulad po nito. So hopefully you can encourage other teachers to join in, and then para we can find ways po para matuloy ang ating mga programa at kurso.
Okay, next question. Para tayong talk show, Sir Jed. Okay. Normally, how long should one presentation last for... Teka, nawala. Normally, how long should one presentation last for an online teaching? When you say online, which is synchronous, maybe ako minsan 30 minutes to 1.5, pero may breaks. Kailangan may break. Okay? Good day to... Is there a certificate given for every webinar? For this webinar, wala. Diba? Wala. Pero for the course, you can have you have a certificate. Tama, no, Sir Jed? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
The webinars are a supplement to the course. Sa course, kailangan mag-enroll po kayo sa heroes2021.org. Yung system po will detect your progress through the course, and your certificate will be dependent on the online. Although these webinars are important po, it doesn't mean hindi dapat kayo mag-attend nitong webinars, because nakasync po yung natututunan nyo doon sa self-paced at saka dito sa synchronous natin.
Okay, good day. In case of asynchronous, hindi po ba mag-conflict ang official module kapag gumagawa ka ng sariling content? Siyempre, i-base mo rin sa ang module ng, let's say, ng school. Pero, syempre, you have to curate it. Okay? So, at dapat malaman mo kung ano talaga ang kailangan. Like for me, kunyari, customer value-driven strategy, nasa module talaga yun ng school ko eh. Sa syllabus yun eh. Pero, ako na yung nag-curate. Ako nang naglagay ng contents. Okay? Next, good AM. Is it okay to use YouTube that are not under Creative Commons? What can we do if we want to use copyrighted videos? Well, for me kasi you're not selling it naman. Diba? You're doing it naman for your private use. So, pangpaturo lang naman. Sa akin I don't know, Sir Jed, pero for me, I'm not choosing already Creative Commons or whatever kasi hindi ko naman bebenta yun eh. Magtuturo lang ako privately or sa ano lang. Okay, tama ba? What do you think, Sir Jed?
If it's on YouTube, you can use it. I mean, the reason they put it on YouTube is because they want it available to the public, di ba? So, I think you can use it. If ever naka-receive na lang kayo ng violation or na hindi nyo alam, as much as possible kasi, of course, we want to respect copyright. No? That's number one rule. But when people put it on YouTube, it means it's available to the public. So, pag ginamit nyo po, alam nyo for public, tapos gamitin nyo lang, tapos kung naka-receive kayo na may violation, then just put it down.
Okay, my particular website po ba na may pwedeng maging source para sa mga strategies in teaching Sped students? I think there are. There are a lot of online resources. I think they are. Marami. Meron. No?
Ma'am Suzanne. On the Sped, I think online learning is sobrang bagay para sa mga Sped students. And from our experience, kasi sa school namin, we have a may master's kami sa Sped. I see mga Sped teachers are very dedicated at magaling po yan mag-adapt at saka very creative, very passionate, very compassionate. So, sa Sped po, like yung pinakita mo ni Ma'am Suzanne, kahit wala po kayo makitang resources, you can easily adapt, depende po sa capability ng student, using audio, video, text, sign language if necessary. Ma-apply nyo po lahat ng natutunan nyo kay Ma'am Suzanne for Sped. Diba? It's up to you sa teacher kung paano nyo i-implement yung delivery na sinabi ni Ma'am Suzanne. So, yun po. So, maganda ang Sped for online.
How do you give remediation for students who found difficulty in the lesson? Then you can do this sa live. Okay, you can ask them. You can ask them anong hindi lang maintindihan. So doon mo matutulungan or yun yung support mo para lang lalo na maintindihan. Kasi yung iba nga mahirap nga, especially kung mahirap ang mga concepts. So that's why you're there. You're a facilitator. You're not a lecturer. So you're there to help them understand. Ma'am, paano ko i-handle ang mainstream na learner sa online digital? What do you mean by this, Jed? Ma'am, paano ko i-handle ang mainstream na learner sa online digital?
I think they're talking about siguro mga regular students who are probably having a hard time with connection, no? I think that's the question.
Okay,
So
that's why kung may difficulty nga sa connection, I record my class. Okay? Also, meron din ako mga klase na may mga estudyante ako na medyo slow, na medyo special, na sinasama talaga nila doon. So, ang ginagawa ko is, syempre, hindi mo naman papahiyain yun, magiging pasensyoso ka at ganyan. Plus, of course, I tell them naman at the start na you have to give respect and no judgments. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Paano po ang gawa ng schedule during online class? Well, kasi nga, for us, it has to be, for us, no? It can be 30% asynchronous and 70%, 30%, nalito na naman ako, 30% synchronous and 70% asynchronous. So, lecture muna, tapos papasok ako, lecture, papasok ako. Ganun. Ma'am Suzanne, which approach is the best way for slow learners, asynchronous or synchronous? Please explain. For me, asynchronous, pero kasi nga slow learner, di pwede na balikan-balikan. Pero pag synchronous, kakausapin mo sila at sasabihin mo, anong hindi mo naintindihan, sweetheart, paano naman to, ito, ganito. That's why, pag nag-lecture ako or nandun sa PowerPoint, hindi ako nagbibigay ng complex or highfalutin or mabigat na terms.
Miss Lenera, Miss
Yes,
Suzanne, yeah. We have a question from FB. Can we use will decide in asynchronous learning?
Yes, that's what, asynchronous.
Yes, ma'am, asynchronous.
Paano? Unless, pwede siguro yon kung lalagay mo kung ano yung questions. Okay? Or kung anong type of test na gaganunin nila. Pero, wala ka dun para mag-spin a wheel eh.
How about, we have another question. What is the length of a presentation video that will be right for kids to absorb effectively?
If presentation video, the most is around 10 minutes or less. 10 minutes or less. Okay?
Maybe we could answer 2 more questions from the Q&A, ma'am.
Ano suggestion kung paano i-deliver asynchronous ang topics na may computation? Asynchronous. Sir Jed, paano? Hindi ako nagtuturo ng math eh.
Paano ang asynchronous na may computation? Well, although I'm not also a math teacher, I think the best way to use asynchronous for computations is to do a demo. Lalo na kung kaya nyo pong mag-drawing sa tablet nyo, is to use a demo kung paano gagawin yung computation. And then, kung gumawa kayo ng exercise na gagawin naman nila ng students with a different question. So that's how you can use asynchronous. It's always to demonstrate something, and then the activity, for them to do it actual, and then makukuha nyo yung result. Pag nag-synchronous po kayo, makikita nyo saan sila nahihirapan, dun sa activity, and yun ang i-discuss nyo sa synchronous.
Okay. Thank you. Kapag po students-to-student interaction sa synchronous, paano nyo po i-deliver at ano pong time frame for that? You can use Zoom for that. May mga breakout groups nga sa Zoom. So pwede silang mag-group work doon, and then pag time na ng presentation, ilabas mo na sila sa main group, sa main room. Okay. The idea of, thank you, God bless as well. The idea of synchronous and synchronous is really great. I'm just concerned of the challenge, slow compared to other learners facing. What if they can't comprehend well in doing it? Addressing this would be one-on-one. What if I have 10 challenged students? I would definitely spend a lot of time in doing one-on-one. Well, actually, that's true. Like for me, I have students, even though I have synchronous for the whole class, I spend some time tutoring, even though I'm not being paid already, and I tell them, maybe I spend 10 minutes to tell them, oh, ito yung ganyan and yan. And plus, I even talk to the parents. To tell them na, sana matulungan nyo, ito po yung lecture ko, nakwento ko na sa kanya ito, pero I hope you can assist them as well.
Miss
How many?
Suzanne, yes,
Yeah.
we have a related question to your comments. Mr. Rolando Borson, he asked, is it ethical to involve parents during synchronous discussion who are watching live with their kids?
Synchronous discussion? Maybe. I haven't tried it. Pero maybe it can. What do you think, Jed?
Well,
Can we
actually,
involve parents?
that will actually depend po on school policy. No? So that's number one. You have to discuss that with your superiors because that's a strategy. That's a learning strategy that has to be agreed with everyone. If you ask me on a personal note, the parents can sit in, especially now because a lot of them are very curious or they do not know anything about online learning. So it's good for them to sit in and observe. Wag lang sila sigurong, masyado mag-interact. Papakialaman yung teacher, no? Observer. Po sa classroom, di ba, may observer. And I think the parents' role sa Google Classroom po, kung naka-G Suite kayo, merong parent-guardian role na pwede sa Google Classroom. And then they get reports on the student performance. I think that's the best way. And then the rest is maybe observed, and then you can have a dialogue with the teachers on the side. Wag lang sa harap ng students. Ayaw naman natin na merong parang may mag-argue or may itatanong yung parents sa harap sa isang teacher sa harap ng students.
Okay, next. How many minutes is ideal for online classes? When you say synchronous, maybe around, I do it nga, 1.5 hours, pero may break. Pero ideal would be short lang, Jed. What do you think?
For us, our training in Nova Scola, in our school in Batangas, we do 1 hour and 30 minutes. Pero yung 15 minutes po in front and 15 minutes sa dulo, this is what we call a virtual check-in at saka virtual kamustahan. And then in between, we call it a virtual recess. Kasi tandaan nyo po, so ang ideal time is around 1 hour or less, pero the rest are more of kamustahan. Kasi tandaan nyo po, hindi nakikita-kita itong mga students natin ngayon. So importante online, yung teacher, you give them time to medyo magkulitan at magkamustahan at mag-usap. So, yun po.
Okay, from Cherry Pie, thank you very much. Thank you too. Juliana, the idea of synchronous and asynchronous is great. I'm just concerned about, I think I answered this already. Brilliant speaker. Thank you, po, sir. Thank you. Is it possible for our beloved and energetic and besides being fabulous speaker to provide a soft copy? Yes, we will give. I think we're going to give a soft copy. There. Where pa? Oh, I just want to show you something. One more short lang. This is also one. Mabilis lang to, late. This is one of the tools then. When I asked my students, actually, kasama to si Sir Jed, dun sa mga students niya, we asked them to memorize. Okay? So I'd like to show you how we did it. So ito, example ito ng, mabilis lang. Ito. Okay. So this is there. I asked them to memorize. Okay? So next day, binigyan ko sila ng mahabang lecture. And then, ay mahaba speech na to memorize because the speech is about speech memorization, memorize delivery. Akala nila next day, makaka-cheat sila. Ginawa namin blindfold. Ayan o. Nagulat sila. Pero ang gagaling nila, these are students from nationwide. Iba, Nova Scholar, they're students. So, pero game sila. So, parang hindi sila mangopya. So, yan. Blindfold.
Ang tawag po. At saka digit.
So, yun. So, yun. Memorization. Akala nila makaka-cheat sila na hindi. Blindfold. Natawa sila, but okay. Magaling. Magaling. Okay, ano pa? Is it possible?
Last question na po.
Last na ba? Hindi ko na ito sasagutin ng mga iba.
You just entered it one last question na po. Thank you.
From you or from this?
Just pick your last question na. Thank you.
Learners have different learning styles. So is it true that is it really hard for both the teacher and learner doing this online learning because of the different obstacles they might encounter, like internet speed and availability of resources? As I've said, sa umpisa mahirap. Ako nga, hirap-hirap at the start talagang overwhelmed ako. Pero now, smooth na, di ba? Kayang-kaya yan. Okay, so mahirap at the start kasi matrabaho, pero madali naman. So yung mga thunders and lightnings katulad ko, medyo kaya-kaya natin yan. Okay, what else? Wala na? Thank you guys for being active as well and for staying with us for this long. Wala na, Lay? Kailangan pa ba ng iba?
We have extended.
Kailan po namin malalaman yung certificate during online course, Sir Jet?
These are automated. So actually, after you finish stage 1 and then all the webinars, you will receive a certificate.
Okay, last na lang question. What is the best strategy? Huh?
Sige, ma'am. Go ahead with your final notes.
Okay, what is the best strategy po for synchronous and asynchronous if a teacher is handling many sections? Many sections meaning many classes? I teach 10 classes, iba-ibang modules. Okay, so yun nga, first do whatever what is easier for you. Then pag okay ka na, pag nakaarangkada ka na, then try to research. Magpaturo ka sa estudyante mo. Estudyante ko nagturo sa akin mag-edit. Okay, estudyante ko nagturo sa akin paano mag-Zoom. Okay, pero as of now, since kulang na tayo sa oras, do whatever you want, do whatever is easy for you. Pero start learning na the technologies. Okay? That's it, I think. Any more? Wala na. Lay? Lay. Lana Lay. Sir and ma'am, thank you for staying with me for overnight time na. Okay, Sir Jed, thank you para tayong talk show.
Sir Jed, Miss Yanera, do you have final thoughts before we close?
So for me, as I've said, it's not easy at the start. Okay, maraming gagawin, nakaka-overwhelm, but pag nagawa na natin, madali lang natin. Remember, may quotation nga na sinabi, expert is also a beginner. Okay, starts as a beginner. So yun. So I'm sure with all the limitations that we have and positive thinking, kaya natin to. Ako nagawa ko ng how many months, di ba? Pero noon, if you've seen me before, talagang ngarag ako. Pero now, okay na. Sir Jet?
Actually, for everyone, no, I'm looking at all the reactions and you can see si Ma'am Suzanne and sinasabi niyo, ang galing niya, ang dami niyang, ang galing nung pagka-present niya and mukhang sanay-sanay, nasanay. And that is because she did the first step at saka matagal niya nang ginagawa to. Para sa ating pong mga teachers na first time, wag po tayong matakot magkamali. Kasi first time ninyo, at saka first time rin ng student, and actually first time ng buong bansa. So, okay lang. Basta ang importante, subukan natin. Let's do the first step. Palagi ko po nga sinasabi, online learning, blended learning, flexible learning, offline learning, it's all better than no learning at all. We have to try. And then eventually po, huwag kayong matakot. Subukan nyo lang. wala naman standard eh. Wala pa naman not yet, di ba? So magagawan po natin ng paraan paano to make this work. And you will be pretty much in the future just like si Ma'am Suzanne. It's so easy, so natural for her. And that is because marami siyang mistakes, marami siyang stumbles, but in the end she came back and for the students. And then kaya po ganyan ang result na makikita niyo, and we're excited to see you na eventually to see you teachers in action also. Yan ang very exciting na after 6 months siguro makita namin magagaling na kayo. That's it. So thank you for listening, and thank you for attending this webinar. Ma'am Suzanne, naka-mute po kayo. Ma'am Suzanne, naka-mute po kayo. Hindi po kayo marinig.
Thank you. Again, replay. Thank you sa mga nasa Zoom now, mga taga DepEd NCR. Thank you sa mga nasa Facebook. Thank you for listening to us. And I hope we gave you inspiration given this talk. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeda. Sir Jed, salamat.
Thank you, Ma'am Suzanne. See you.
Sa susunod.